Hi everyone! Welcome to our video on the Unit 8 lab assignment. What is the Unit 8 lab assignment? This assignment has you looking at the effects that washing your hands has on the microbes residing on your hands. You will be looking at the microbial lobe on your hands before washing and after washing your hands. There are 2 petri dishes left from your Unit 3 lab where you prepared your petri dishes. What will you need to do the lab? You will need the last 2 petri dishes you prepared in the Unit 3 lab assignment, a permanent marker to label the petri dishes, hand soap and a sink, and you need your goggles, gloves, and lab apron to protect your clothing. Remember to put your goggles and apron on before beginning the lab. Let's get started. To prepare your plate of your hands before washing, make sure you put on your goggles and apron. Gloves are not needed for this, for you need to touch the petri dish with your fingers in this lab. Gather the 2 remaining petri dishes. If these dishes were in a refrigerator, please allow them to come to room temperature by having them sit out for around 30 minutes. Once at room temperature, it is time to label the petri dishes. With the lid on, turn the petri dish over and label with the current date. Label the first petri dish as before and the second petri dish as after. Remember to label the side with the agar and not the lid. Once labeled, turn the dishes back over so that the lid is on the top. Once labeled, take the dish that says before and touch all 5 fingers to the agar. Press firmly but carefully so that you do not puncture the agar and replace the lid. Let's watch Jenny demonstrate this and tell us any tips to preparing a successful dish.
Hi everybody! So now we're going to be inoculating the petri dishes with testing the effects of hand washing with soap. Okay. So I've got 2 petri dishes left from the 6 that I was given, and I'm going to label the dishes. Now remember again, you're going to put your lab coat on, put your goggles on, tie your hair back, and then you have your auger on the bottom, your lid on the top, and what you're going to do is you're going to write on the bottom, right in the periphery again. So again, this is nutrient auger, so I'll just write that down. Today's date, and then I'm going to write before hand washing. For hand washing. Okay, so the other one is going to be after hand washing, so I'm just going to write that down. Nutrient auger NA 8. The date, and then the after hand washing. Okay, and that's it. So this one I'll put to the side. This one I've marked again on the bottom. I've kept the lid on. So I'm just going to touch it with my fingers, kind of like fingerprints. But I'm not going to gouge the auger, so I'm going to be mindful because I have a little bit of nail. I'm not going to gouge it because then the colonies will kind of grow in the gouges, and that's not what we want. We can't see clear colonies with that. So I'm just going to dot, 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 dot. Looks like a little paw print. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, so now I've got my before. I'm going to wash my hands for 20 seconds, and then I'm going to touch the after. And remember, you want to use the same hand because on average, most people are right-handed. Your right hand always has more bacteria than your left hand. Even when you wash your hands, the right hand has way more bacteria than your left hand. So you don't want to do like right-left. For different plates. So, I'll be right back.
Now that you have created the petri dish of before washing your hands, it is time to go to after washing your hands. First, wash your hands with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. Once your hands are dry, open the petri dish labeled after and touch all 5 fingers to the agar. Press firmly but carefully as to not puncture the agar. Replace the lid. Once both plates are prepared, move to your prepared incubation area and incubate for 48 to 72 hours. Remove your safety goggles and apron, and don't forget to answer question 1 on your lab report template. Let's watch Jenny as she demonstrates these steps and gives us any tips for success.
Before, I'm going to wash my hands for 20 seconds, and then I'm going to touch the after. And remember, you want to use the same hand because on average, most people are right-handed. Your right hand always has more bacteria than your left hand. Even when you wash your hands, the right hand has way more bacteria than your left hand. So you don't want to do like right-left for different plates. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. I washed my hands and I was mindful of not touching anything. So I didn't touch my face. I didn't wipe my hands on my coat, or if I touched something, it was with this hand, my left hand, which I'm not testing. So now, taking the same hand, I'm going to press the auger gently. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Close the lid, invert it, and then this is going to be put into a nice warm place and monitored for the next couple of days. All right. Afterwards, I'm going to disinfect my bench top and wipe off my glasses, and that's it. All right. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Now your Petri dishes have been incubating for 48 to 72 hours. What is next? First, you are going to want to put on your safety goggles, lab apron, and a pair of clean gloves. Once your safety equipment is on, retrieve the Petri dishes from the designated incubation area and examine them. Record your results in your lab report template. Once you have written down the results, take pictures of your Petri dishes or draw a representation of each plate for submission with your lab report. Now that you have completed the lab and recorded your results, it is time to clean up. Prepare a 10% bleach solution or use a disinfectant. Add a few tablespoons of the bleach solution or disinfectant to each Petri dish and dispose of the dishes in a plastic bag. Once this is done, remove your goggles, gloves, and apron. Don't forget to finish answering all the remaining questions in your lab report template and prepare your pictures for submission. Thank you for watching this video guide to your Unit 8 lab in microbiology. Have a great day!